Yo, what is going on, everybody? We are back after a week hiatus, and it's a good thing that we're back because we're going to have a big hiatus after this episode.
Yeah,
But
sadly I'm very busy in April, but I'm gonna send like a few like retro episodes from the old channel,
yes,
so that something is going up.
exactly. But yes, it's your boy Sean, Puff Comics. Got my co-host VV, Varangian Vigilante. And after the previous episode where we talked Angel Heart, we was in a devilish type mood. So he's like, let's keep the devil theme going and talk End of Days. Arnold Schwarzenegger versus the devil himself.
And then of course the devil gave me the flu, so we had to postpone for 1 week.
Sadly, they like, oh, you're saying my name? Well,
don't say the devil's name in vain. It's like that's what he gets.
Yeah, and I always felt that End of Days got unfairly criticized. Now the movie is not the best, but for what it is, and I always appreciate when Arnold go outside of his comfort zone and do a story that's not technically relying on over the top action and him cracking quotes and wisecracks. Like he delved into the horror genre.
Yeah, of course, this movie was also very much done for the Hollywood insurance companies. Yeah. After his heart surgery, nobody wanted to insure him, and so he wanted to pick a movie that is not too action heavy, but also where he can still showcase some action, so he can prove that, hey, I can still do this without dropping dead.
Yeah, and while the film has its flaws, and we've talked about it backstage about the third act, I still think that the movie holds up and has an engaging plot that keeps you invested into the film. And Arnold does a pretty good job with what he's given, all things considering. Because I know he had some issues with, later on where he said that the director probably wasn't the right choice, and that he was only recommended to Arnold because he was James Cameron's friend, and that he worked on James Cameron's movies. Mm-hmm. But when you watch the movie, while you see some of the flaws, it's still a pretty good film. And I think the cast really elevates this film even more so than what the script has.
Absolutely. And, I remember in 1999 when it came out, I was just in business school. And, the 1999 was still a year where, hey, something went to the cinema, something was in cinemas and you watched it. Actually, I didn't like it very much in 1999, but when I rewatched it later, I actually quite enjoyed it. Since when it came out, I was very much opposed, this new CGI trend. And I really disliked the CGI used in the movie. Now, I still say should have gone practical in some scenes, but, some stuff aged better than another. And I think in the subway, when this one weird dude came to Christine and he's gonna fuck you, and then he fell apart in front of her. I really disliked it when I watched it the first time because it looked so. It looks so false. Yeah. But watching it now is actually, what? The devil maybe play like that way. Maybe CGI is the tool of the devil.
I do think certain aspects of the CGI work and then certain ones didn't work.
Yeah.
So it's a mixed bag for me.
Hey, Inja.
Hey, what's up? I think when I woke up, she was live, so I have to catch that live on Instagram on the replay. But yeah, great to see you, Inja. But yeah, the CGI is a mixed bag for me, but luckily, it wasn't overly done. They still occasionally use some practicals, but the CGI was kept at a minimum. They didn't force it and push it in your face like you would think they would.
Yeah, and of course, since it was released in 1999, the dawn of the new millennium, there were a lot of occult movies in cinema, and I'm a huge fan, as we have talked last week, a huge fan of occult thrillers, Kenneth. And also compared to the other stuff that came out in '99, I think that End of Days just quite hit the spot in that regard, being like between genres, action and the occult. For example, The Ninth Gate, who also came out in 1999. 1999 is one of my favorite movies of all times. This is just based on my favorite novel, and also the movie is fantastic.
And I like how the year 1999 plays a massive role in the film. So it makes so much sense when you release a movie in 1999, and 1999 is the main plot of the film, because it's at the end of December, and the whole point is Satan has come back, or the man has come back to create the new spawn to lead into the millennium. So,
Yeah, but both Arnolds actually would have said that breakfast is the most important time of the day, meal of the day.
His breakfast was trash.
Boy.
His breakfast was trash.
Yeah. And of course, another movie that is also fantastic that came out in '99, where the guy who plays Byrne, who plays the devil here, plays actually a priest. Stigmata. Stigmata was also really good. So I think that in that regard it fell apart, but it's the best of the New Year Millennium action movies that try to get rid of the devil, because also Dolph Lundgren had one. With I think he was called Night of the Apocalypse, where he was like a Knights Templar. I
absolutely all time, but it was a riot.
Yeah, I really like it, but End of Days is I think a bit better.
I know somebody posted "I Come in Peace" a couple days ago, and I was like, man, I need to watch that film, man, because I used to watch that all the early Dolph Lundgren films. I used to love watching those films.
And Red Scorpion was also crazy.
But yeah, the whole point of the film is, 1979, which is the late 70s. Vatican priests witnesses a comet and signifying the prophecy of the end of days. And this is where we get the newborn, where she is marked, and that is pretty much the chosen one to be the mother of Satan's child. And that's what leads to 20 years later in 1999, when she's an adult. Now the man, aka Lucifer, aka Satan, is coming out to say, I need to create my child so the end of days can come to rise. So the plot is hokey, but at the same time it fits well into that whole, let's come up with this occult style story where a new baby is born, and that she's been marked by the Satan to say, he's coming.
Let's just say it's a very convoluted way to get laid.
Yeah. And the whole thing, like you said on the subway, it's creepy as fuck when somebody comes up to you and say that. It's like, the fuck? It's New York weirdos. That's what it is. And it's funny that they casted Robin Tunney to play Christina York, because she was coming off a couple months ago, a couple of years of The Craft. That film.
That was also a nice one.
So that's another witchcraft film, with her being in this film. It's like, go hand in hand.
But I think they asked every other actress in Hollywood before, and everybody declined. I think Liv Tyler declined. And I think two other actresses, like with Jennifer Connelly also declined.
Yep.
So it's I think it was a good choice for what was left, but she does a good job. Also looks very cute with the short hair. But in general, the casting did a lot of things right. First of all, of course, I think that Arnold really fits the role. And then, of course, as one of the high priests of the devil, who should actually have played the devil, but they didn't want to have two German talking guys as antagonist and protagonist, is, of course, Udo Kier. Udo Kier has just one of the most commanding voices Generally, when he speaks English, but also when you listen to him and he talks German, then it's even better. He's a national treasure, and every movie that is in is worthwhile because of him.
And he sure got a demise worthy of greatness.
Let's just say, if you ever thought about going working for the devil, he doesn't has the best loyalty reward program out there.
No. You don't care how loyal you are. If one mess up and you done.
Yeah, and also he had a very 90s extreme sex scene with his wife and daughter.
Hey, soon as they said, "Daddy, who is it?" He turned and he looked like, "Oh, you got a family, a wife and a daughter. I'm gonna have fun here."
Well, you can call me Daddy too.
Hey, the melded part when they did it, I was like, that was pretty cool effect.
That was a good kind of CGI.
Because it really this man is melding with the two.
That had some Hellraiser vibes, and I was here for it.
Yeah, Gabriel Byrne.
Oh, Gabriel Byrne.
Oh, out of this character, and I always thought he was a fantastic actor. Everything that he's in, even in smaller minor roles, he still has that moment where he's like, "Damn, this guy can outact most of the cast." And he was the perfect choice to play the devil.
Absolutely.
Matter of fact, I will say I liked him better than Al Pacino in Devil's Advocate. And I like that movie, but I like Gabriel Byrne's performance here just as the living embodiment of the devil.
It's very interesting because both were quite unhinged versions of the devil, but it seems like Byrne did it still, even though he did not act very classy. At least he seemed classy.
And I just like how he's upfront with his the whole scene with him and Jericho at the apartment. I love his dialogue and how he's trying to convince Jericho to join his side because God ain't nothing, and he took away your family. I can give it right back, and that's what the devil's gonna put in your face. And then we had the whole reenactment scene of what happened to his wife and daughter, and Jericho trying to stop it, but it's a reenactment.
And once more, it was Sven-Ole Thorsen who was the best.
Yes, man, it's a damn shame they ain't list them in the credits because it's a cameo. But as soon as he busts through the door, I'm like, oh, there's Thorsen. Hey, he's got to get his little appearance on the awning for it.
Exactly.
But yeah, I just love Byrne's performance here, and people can say what they want about this film in terms of criticism, but you can't deny Byrne's talent when it comes to his performance. He really elevates the film.
And it's not an easy thing because you have so many fantastic actors, in in smaller roles, like I already said, like Udo Kier, and it's
Rod Steiger.
And it's Rod Steiger. But it's especially when Udo Kier is the high priest of the devil, you really need a fantastic actor for the devil, otherwise Udo Kier will outperform him, and then the devil looks like a bitch. So Byrne did a great job there, and of course, on the other side, the good priest, Rod Steiger, the late Rod Steiger, absolute legend in the business, and also one of his last movies. So I remember, back then when I watched it, it's hey, Rod Steiger's in it, perfect.
and his back and forth with Jericho was great. They really played off the whole God versus devil thing when it comes to who do you believe and who do you are you going to fall in line with that worship? And Jericho is a character that's in between. He lost his family. He's pretty much a shitty looking cop. Who's just down on life and stuff. And now he's in between these two sides, yet he don't want to believe the whole thing. That's why I chose the quote, "Between my faith and my Glock, I'll take my Glock. Because he still has that mentality that, no matter what, I'm just going to choose what I do in terms of believing what I believe in. So I believe in the Glock, I believe in justice, I believe in all that, but he don't really adhere to the devil or God.
This is actually something that I really like in this movie, because it is also referenced later, like in the finale, when he was in the church and he had this time to reminiscence, and then it's like, this is of no use here for me, and because it's like a battle of faith and battle of will.
And he knows that, like, what is the gun going to do? Because the devil can't be defeated by no damn gun. Shotgun. That's why the scene where Arnold goes to get all his guns, Jericho get all his guns. I'm like, bro, who you really looking to kill? You're gonna kill his underlings, but you're not.
Maybe you should have asked the Winchesters for a certain bullet.
But yeah, I love the dynamic and the whole, which side does he believe in? Because it adds to that character of, and that's why when he had that moment, it's almost like I'm in the church and holding this gun inside the church is like, it's unholy. You're not only not going to win, but it's unholy to do that. So him tossing the gun was like his revelation that, I believe.
In general, like I really like it is also that that on the side of the church, not everybody saw it the same way. Like you had this like this inner extremist part of the church who wanted to kill Christine because, hey, if they kill her, the devil can fuck her. So basically everything's saved. And then of course, like Rod Steiger, who was also of course like working for the Pope. That their approach is like, you can't undo evil by acting evil. Yeah,
because no matter what, it's like you commit an act of sin, then you're on their side and not ours.
Yeah,
and I liked the extremist part of it as well. Like, to me, it added two sides to the whole good versus evil. Because now good has a good side, but it also has its underside, which is evil, who's trying to say, oh, we're doing good by killing her, but in turn you're really just going over. What up, Steve?
Yeah, it is also fun because I think there's also like a lot of fun, like when they showed like the devil's influence on the earth, and seems apparently that law enforcement is on the payroll of the devil.
It is funny because
who would have known?
Because while you have Jericho and his friend Chicago, they're more like private security. They more like private investigators as opposed to working with the police. They do their own thing on their own side, whereas the police is the police. They used to be cops, but now they do their own thing, and they have this like back and forth with the cops, especially
Also fantastic casting, like CCH Pounder.
Yes,
fantastic.
Awesome. Yeah. And the whole thing with the devil like getting control of the cops. First, I did like Chicago's supposed death scene with how the devil set that up. Yo, CGI may suck, but that was creative because it's like let me take a piss on all these cops by urinating and then light cigarette and let them burn and smoke. So, but that was pretty creative, and Gabriel Byrne played that off such sinisterly.
Yeah,
like he was awesome in that. But yeah, CCH Pounder and Kevin Pollak as the side characters were good in their roles as well.
And this makes sure that the movie has a lot of flesh on the bone, like a lot of meat on the bone. When you have such interesting side characters, because then it's not just like, hey, he's offering that character, he's offering that character, who cares? You just feel like it's like, oh, didn't wish that character would be off already.
Yeah, like the person who was set up to assassinate one person, and they said that he cut his tongue out, but we heard him speaking when he
Yeah.
encountered Jericho. And that whole scene with his hanging on the ceiling was pretty ritual.
In general, this movie is very underrated also in terms of how boundary pushing it is in certain ways, especially for Hollywood movie. Also the devil's body after the subway, when he was basically there, and like there was a gory scene that I would have expected from a movie like this. But also like verbally, when the devil goes into the hospital and with the guard and is like, hey, like don't forget who you serve, because you're like a piece of shit that more or less like like.
And that's the thing, the devil could turn what you like right around on you. It's like, yeah, you're already going to hell, so you better let me through.
Yeah, and also like what was a funny scene was with the skater who had like the Satan Rules T-shirt.
Oh, yeah.
And he's like, I like the T-shirt, but he turned out to be addicted, so the devil killed him.
And like sometimes you better be respectful to your elders, man.
Yeah, that reminded me a little bit about the scene in the horrible Spawn movie. It's like, this I hate weekend Satanists.
God, that Spawn movie was something else. And I watched it a lot when I was younger, but yeah.
Soundtrack was good.
Yeah. That's about it. But yeah, like I love the setting, of course, in New York City. And the cast
we all know when the world ends, it's gonna end.
Yeah, it's gonna end in New York, because they don't really film the destruction of Los Angeles, not quite like New York.
Yeah.
I like the Christine York. She has these hallucinations, these dreams, and like that's why she living where she lives, because she stays in more of the wealthy side of New York.
Yeah.
But she always have these dreams that's haunting her, and the fact that almost everybody that's around her is secret agents for the devil.
Exactly, they're all in on it. This was actually a really cool revelation from the beginning.
Yeah, at the beginning when the mother gave birth, the lady took the baby to clean it, but she also took it to give it to what's the name for him to do the ritual.
Yeah, to Ulukir, yeah, and so basically like Ulukir then is like her like doctor, and of course the woman that was the nurse who kidnapped her becomes her stepmother. So they're really grooming her into be the devil's plaything.
Yeah, and nobody is trustworthy in her place. So I liked that aspect, that she had agents around her trying to groom her and get her ready for the end of days.
In general, the first and the second act are so well plotted. The third act, not so much. They could have like cut out 20 or 30 minutes of it. Like I think the movie is 117 minutes, should have been 90-minute movie. Yeah,
I agree.
But
the third act felt like regurgitating certain parts from the second act, and it's like I felt like I done seen this twice before, and I need to just get it over with.
But like the whole setup, like the first and the second act, they are really excellent.
I felt like the movie peaked when Jericho got beat up by everybody in the alley, and they hung him Jesus style.
Yeah, exactly, when they crucified him. Yeah, actually, I totally agree. Because that's basically, when the third act is set up and when he's coming back from the cross to kick some ass.
But I really feel like that was like the peak of the movie. Yeah. And it's funny because the protagonist gets beat up and crucified. And when that's your peak of the movie, and then the third act just don't measure up to those first two acts, it's like it's kind of disappointing, because they could have, like you said, took off 20 minutes and just sped up that third act.
they really wondered what happened there, because in the script, when you think like, oh, this is so good, and the crucifixion, then it's like, what now? Let's write in some action scenes, another action scene.
And then they also played with the old, the devil can't go into holy ground and stuff, but yeah, he just walks in there, and then it's like a continuation when we talk about Angel's Heart, where Lucifer was actually sitting in the church talking to Angel, and it's like they can find their way into any place, and everybody holding up the cross and stuff, and they was just tossing them left, right.
Hey, Al.
What up, Al? Hey, Al.
Well, again.
He been solo the last 2 shows because the other Comic Con crew, I couldn't make it that Saturday, and Al did a fantastic job on that one-man show. Like,
I have to rewatch it. I was out, and then it was such a busy week.
Yeah, and then yesterday there was the X Factor. I was able to catch a little bit of that live because I was working, but he held it down yesterday. So much props to Al, man.
Al is the man. Is like, and Al is like, he works very well together with everybody. But when he wants to, he can be a one-man show.
Yep. Yeah, no problem, bro. No problem. But what are some of your like bigger highlights of the film besides what we already talked?
I think, especially for Arnold, that the one-liners really work. Then Jericho Kane, of course, is a fantastic name. Otherwise, the highlights are, of course, how the character development that I very much enjoyed, and especially that Christine York is a damsel in distress, but she's not a dumb bitch. I think that when the priests came to assassinate in a flat, that she acted very smart and like she was very quick on her feet.
Bro, when she threw the chair out the window to break the glass, just to create a fake out by making them think that she jumped out when she hiding in the closet. They were smart, but I liked that she was quick thinking like that.
Yeah, but I also really like that like her like assassins, they looked like in the right spot. So this was especially in this part of the movie, nobody's intelligence was taken advantage of. So it's like, yeah, and I really that I very much enjoyed. Then I also really liked the turn and the redemption of Chicago. That when he came back and he's like, hey, I was like on fire, like you gotta take a deal when you're like on fire. But then also that he's like, then he shows, hey, I'm still can't do it, and then he rather chooses the fire, but probably saves his soul in the long run.
Yeah,
that I very much enjoyed. Then also in the finale, that when Jericho became possessed, that he fought against it and threw himself into the Archangel's sword. And also I'm really happy they went with the finish, that he dies in the process, and therefore his
the alternate ending did not work.
The other would have not worked. So I think that the sacrificial ending was the right choice to make. Otherwise,
he got to see his wife and daughter for that.
Yes.
And then he's going to see them full time anyway. Once he transitioned, but that was a nice, wonderful moment.
Absolutely. Then I think I also really enjoyed like some sad side. Since I love occult thrillers, I always liked when they showed, when the priests did some work and they translated stuff, and of course also when the Pope, who is the guy who played, I think, Hector Salamanca in Breaking Bad, who played the Pope here. So some of the sets were quite nice. I still think that the wrote Udo Kier too soon out of the movie. I think he would have made like a great obstacle to overcome before Kane reaches the devil.
The devil wanted all the spotlight himself.
Yeah.
That's the only reason why I feel like they took him out, because the devil wanted to be the main guy and he didn't want none of his underlings to be there. Because when you notice, he took him out, and then all the underlings that was working with Christina, you know, they did their part, they failed, and the devil just took them out. He like, I can always get new underlings. Like, underlings is not a problem.
Yeah, it's like it's not like that the world is lacking. It's lacking evil people.
There's always new people to join my squad.
Yeah, and what any other scenes that stood out for you?
Outside of you know, when I would say the subway scene, but it almost felt like I was watching the third act of Speed with the subway. I was waiting for Dennis Hopper to pop up too.
Yes.
But it was pretty cool, and the effect of the devil killing the train conductor was awesome. You know, like Gabriel Byrne really like shined in that part.
Yeah, I think that the movie poster leaves a lot of desired. In general, I was not a fan of most of the movie posters that came out in that period of time, since they went more away from drawn movie posters.
Yeah, like by the time we got to the 90s, they started going away from the drawn ones and more to the generic put together posters. And if you put this in the hands of a real artist like a Verho or a lot of Italian artists, they would have made a fantastic movie poster.
Absolutely, yeah. So I also think that the movie didn't have the best marketing, even though, of course, Arnold went to the WWE, also WWF back in the day, to promote the movie.
And he got his belt and he beat up Triple H. That will always be legendary on the SmackDown episode when Triple H threw a weak ass punch. He dunked it and just started beating.
But yeah, it's of course that's how Arnold came into the WWE Hall of Fame.
Pretty much.
But in general, Arnold has a lot of history, of course, with wrestlers since they work out like in Venice back in the day, Venice Beach. You also had a lot of wrestlers performing, and I think also the superstar Billy Graham, rest in peace, actually wanted to get him into wrestling back in the day.
A lot of people emulated superstar Billy Graham. A lot of people.
Yeah. Hulk
he was like the first big muscular wrestler. Yeah, Hulk Hogan and Jesse Ventura, number 2 with a bullet. But a lot of people influenced his style. He influenced a lot of people. And just imagine a superstar Billy Graham, and if he would have never really felt like health-wise and was able to go to do movies, he would have been an awesome action to pair with Arnold.
I think if they would have, I don't think it was a really good promotion of the WWE back in the day. I think they could have gone another route. For example, just cast Kane as a henchman, as like a muscle for the devil, and you could have promoted it even better. As we know, like in See No Evil, Kane was a very menacing killer.
Well, most definitely.
Yeah.
But
so
outside of that, like I said, I love the back and forth with the characters on, you know, who do you believe? You know, Jericho's confliction of whether or not, you know, he wants to believe this, and then everything that he felt he can do with a gun, and say, oh, you know, as long as I got my guns, you know, I'll take him out, knowing that that's not going to win you the battle in this, because it's a battle between heaven and hell, and you're not going to win against Satan with guns.
Yes, because you only got to win with willpower.
And that's the thing. It was willpower is what made him fall off the devil from doing what to Christina, and for him to say, "I'm gonna commit the ultimate sacrifice because this is the only way to stop him from winning." And to me, that was the best part of the third act. And another thing I gotta mention: if you really think about like what happens after that ending, they have to put Christina in the nut house. Because who gonna believe that?
Yeah.
Who gonna believe that story?
And also, I'm pretty sure there's still a lot of pissed. I think there's either two ways. Either they lock her in the Vatican in the room, or a lot of disgruntled devil worshippers will come after her if the church doesn't save her. I don't think there's a happy end for her.
The church can't save her because her and Jericho came in there blasting their guns saying, "Get out." So they think, oh, these people are gun crazy maniacs, and they tore up the church.
Yeah, but it's like I say, like a basic U.S. church is different to the fucking Vatican.
Yeah, that's why they don't look at them as maniacs.
They probably have like the holy grenade from Antioch there.
Like you go in there as an investigator, and like who put this massive hole in the floor? Like all this stuff. I know they couldn't do this shit on their own. It was the devil. What?
It was it's New York. It's a sinkhole. It's just a sinkhole. It's just a sinkhole.
I would love to see just the post scene of that, just to see how people make sense of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, that like I said, the movie has its flaws. It's too long. The third act doesn't hold up as strongly as the first two acts. But I feel like the acting, and people criticize Arnold for his acting. I'm like, look, it's Arnold. You know, he doesn't have to have grade A acting. But as long as he has the type of the emotion that he needs for certain scenes and the delivery, that's all that matters to us.
Exactly. Arnold is by definition not the best actor in this movie. You have Udo Kier, you have Rod Steiger, you have so many fantastic actors. You have like Gabriel Byrne, Kevin Pollak. However, he doesn't get lost in any of the scenes. So yeah, exactly. So that's also more detriment to him and his charisma, that he doesn't get acted to the wall with all these fantastic actors around. And also this movie, you know, it's not the fourth time that I've seen it, so it can't be that bad.
Yeah, and I felt like he did great against Byrne in the apartment and with the priest Rod. Like he held his own.
Exactly. And what else do you want to expect? Like he's not a Shakespearean Austrian actor that Vida sold him to the production company of Hercules in New York.
Yeah, I mean, if you take Arnold out his element and put him in the role where he has to like fully act with no action and nothing, like we've said it before, Sylvester Stallone is the better actor because he can do drama. Yeah, I think he can live with it. He probably gonna get an Oscar, lifetime Oscar at one point probably, but no, actually, doesn't he have? I mean, he has the Golden Globe for of course for Stay Hungry as best newcomer, but didn't Pumping Iron got the documentary Oscar or something? I don't remember. I forgot. Oh man, the Razzie Awards.
Yeah.
Stallone do have a couple of those.
Yeah.
Sadly. Stop or my mom will shoot.
But yeah, the Golden Globe, that one is in Thal here. So when I worked at the museum, I saw Arnold's Golden Globe every day.
But you know, an actor that is great and sadly we lost today. Lou Gossett.
Ah, yes. One of my favorite parts, of course, in the awesome Punisher movie. Then one of also a very underrated movie, I think nowadays that nobody talks about, that was quite huge back in the day. Enemy Mine.
Man, I'm glad you brought that up because that I love that.
Yes, that
Love
one
that.
was. I think this is not such a great science fiction movie, but also a fantastic movie for, of communication between enemies and it's just
Matter of fact,
excellent.
when we come back from hiatus, after we do Deep
Yeah.
Red, we're gonna do Enemy Mine.
Enemy Mine, yes.
Yeah,
Looking forward. I haven't seen it in a long time.
That movie really affected me as a youngster watching it.
Me too.
Because you get the differences of ideologies of two different species, but yet they come to understand each other. And when Jerry died and the kid was born, I was like, man, you felt so passionate.
I cried as a kid. I was way too young to watch the movie. I cried as a kid. It was so sad.
Man, we got. I'm definitely putting that on the docket. After we do Deep Red, we'll do that movie because that movie was one of my favorite movies. Every time it was on TV, I had to watch it.
Yeah. Actually, I didn't watch it in a long time because I didn't want to get sad. But of course, then as an adult, let's rewatch it because it's a fantastic movie.
It's just a movie that has an emotional roller coaster of a ride, and even the ending when he has to go save the kid, and that villain who's another guy who played in multiple movies. The name not coming to my mind, but that movie.
And of course, actually, I already know now that for next week, that I'm gonna send you a re-upload for the Punisher stream that we did.
Yes.
Because that's very fitting, and because I'm so happy with the Punisher stream, and we talked about him being basically the anchor, the acting anchor of the movie.
Yeah, man. Rest in peace, Lou Gossett Jr. Fantastic actor, and sad day, but we'll always cherish the amazing roles that he had. Because I watched those Iron Eagle films a lot too, so.
Yeah, and he got his Oscar.
Yep. Officer and the Gentleman. So, anything else we want to say about End of Days?
End of Days, actually, I think we said everything about it. I have some stuff here since last week we were not on, and I got my comic book delivery.
Sweet.
Also, today I got a Blu-ray of one of my favorite movies, since we're already talking occult stuff. Finally, for the first time on Blu-ray released here, remastered Chinese Ghost Story, Part 1. And this is one of my favorite Eastern movie because it's a great mix of occult, horror, and Eastern. So and a fantastic love story that really always captivated.
Question: Did you get True Lies?
Unfortunately, I didn't get it. I'm not buying James Cameron films in 4K because he kills all the corn and he makes everything looks like waxy and flashy. So I mean, he really fucked up the Terminator 2 4K because he hates the film corn, and I love the film corn. So I refuse to get any 4Ks where he does the remastering.
Yeah.
So
I know Jake's gonna post it soon. He was wondering if you had it.
Yeah, I'm gonna stick with the DVD. But yeah, here's issue number 12 of Luber Wollschwanz, the awesome German sword and sorcery title.
Nice.
So can't wait to read this one, since this one it's getting better and better, and what I love especially with German comics, you also get you get some nudity in there, which is always nice. Then talking about awesome books, not a fan of this cover, but I have cover A on my pull list. But Conan issue number 8, fantastic run so far.
Yeah, I passed on that cover too.
I got cover A in the pull list, and I really refuse to buy variant covers anymore, except if they really resonate with me. And with issue number 8 it's not like a must buy in there. But another issue number 8, Red Sonja, it's the Perillo cover. This is a very mediocre run. It's not bad, but it really would need an editor too. But however, I'm a big fan of Francesca Francavilla, so I got the variant cover. Yeah. And I always love his use of colors. Then the Perillo issue number 5 of Vampirella Dracula Rage.
Perillo could do no wrong.
Exactly. Talking about Perillo doing no wrong, issue number 666 of Vampirella. And that cover is really good. Like this Maria Magdalena style, and of this I also got the fall cover, since it was just cover price, and hey, for that beautiful cover, can't say no. Then the one shot, the Tigra one shot. Wonder if they ever finished the main series.
Dang, the way it's going, man, I don't think it'll be summertime by the time it get finished.
Yeah. Then that's a one shot of the 7 Years in Darkness, which is a fantastic occult occult comic. Absolutely love this cover, beautiful, and fantastic read so far. Then got some back issue that I was looking for this comic for so long, and my comic book shop got one in, not in the pristinest condition, but I got it basically for $8, which is the Jason Scott Campbell, Brilliant and the Scarlet Legion cover. Nice. And this is an iconic J. Scott Campbell cover, and not easy to find in the wild.
Wow.
Then I got this. Yeah. Then I got the zombie variant of the Cerebus Archive. As you know, I'm a huge fan of Cerebus, especially the first storyline part, which was a parody of Conan.
You know, the only Cerebus comic I have is the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Oh yeah. That cover is glorious.
Yeah, the wraparound.
I also really like the Spawn crossover. It's like color.
Yeah.
Then I finally got this one, How the Duck issue number 23, the nice. UK variant. Since along with issue number 22, this is another How the Duck Sword and Sorcery crossover. Then I got also the comic book shop got so many. Somebody must have sold this collection, so I got this I think for just $5. It's the 5th printing of Aliens.
Nice.
So that was yes,
awesome.
Exactly. So I'm very happy for that one. Then somebody must have also sold his Conan Saga, so I got issue number 1.
Nice.
The Conan Saga.
That cover's iconic.
Oh yeah. Then talking about Conan, Savage Sword of Conan, issue number 1. Really looking forward to reading this. So glad you brought it back in magazine form.
Yes.
Yes, exactly. And Chusco cover. Can't beat that. Then a magazine where I really enjoyed issue number 1, a German magazine, Fantasy 3000, which is a mixture of sword and sorcery and science fiction stories. So really enjoy the art style in there. And issue number 1 was fantastic, so I'm very much looking forward to reading this. So this is also on my pull list. Then of course Vampirus Camilla issue number 19, the late Ken Kelly. Nice. Classic Conan cover from him. Of course, not called Conan in the magazine, but I always love with Vampirus Camilla that they mostly use classic artwork. and then make a story out of it in the issue.
That's awesome.
So that's fantastic. And San Julian cover for issue number 20. And I love San Julian, and this reminds me a lot of the covers. He probably also maybe did some for the Italian horror magazine back in the day. And then I got the Vampirus Camilla, the annual of 2025, which is in a few months.
Few months. They getting a head start.
Yeah, head start, yeah. So that was my whole. Did you get anything?
I got a few books, but I'm not going to show the books. But I did, when I went to my shop, they had Customer Appreciation Day. So I picked up 2 prints with the frames. First one, this is dedicated to Akira Toriyama. Dragon Ball, done by the artist. I forgot his name, but I know he does it using coffee grounds. But yeah, I picked that up. It was like 20% off art prints.
Very good take on the deck.
Huh?
Very good take on the characters.
Yeah, and then of course I was walking out of there with this, man. But...
of course. Can't say no to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm walking
Megatron no more. That's a fantastic homage. There's some covers that have been like overdone in homages. However,
yes, we said it before. They overdo these homages a lot, but with the right characters, certain homages can be perfect. And that I was like, yeah, I'm walking out.
When it fits, and that one fits.
But other than that, I've just been kind of irrelevant when it comes to Instagram and doing stuff. Comics, I read that Savage Sword. I enjoyed it, and I'm still keeping up with the Conan books, but I just haven't really been like engaging with the books, and I've just been kind of busy with other things in life, so I really haven't been like comic focused lately.
Yeah, and it's always with collectibles like up and down, and most important thing is when there's just other stuff is more important, is keep it on the low, and nothing runs away really.
Yeah, eventually I'll get my mojo back, but I'm looking forward to next week when I hang out with the fellas. Because
Al has a question.
Man, look, I have not seen Ghostbusters Frozen Empire yet. Because as much as I'm not a big fan of Afterlife. I said I was still going to give Frozen Empire a chance. I have not seen that yet, and it's been out for a week. I'll probably see Godzilla vs. Kong, but it depends on how
I'm probably not going to see it. Maybe if it's a streaming service, to give it a chance. But I hated Godzilla vs. Kong so much. Godzilla King of the Monsters, one of my favorite movies of all time. Like, that movie was so good, but for me, the Monsterverse ended after that one, since Godzilla vs. Kong was just so stupid. Like, all the heart, all the mythology that they built with the movies before, they just threw everything out and just have them Rampage has more brain in his little toe than Godzilla vs. Kong in the whole thing. Yeah. The Monsterverse is dead for me. I will always rewatch the first Godzilla and the King of the Monsters, and I also really enjoyed the Kong Island. Kong Island was a really good movie. And it says a lot, when a movie's good despite having Brie Larson in it.
Skull Island was nothing more than King Kong versus Samuel Jackson. But yeah, I like I said, movie going hasn't really. Eventually I'm gonna see Doom. We're gonna do the Doom live stream.
Yeah, I've already seen Doom 2. It's fun. I like the movie, but they changed something from the books that I'm absolutely not a fan of. So I really can't wait until Godzilla Zero is out on Blu-ray. But I minus except minus one.
Yeah,
but I'm not really going into the cinemas anymore as back in the days. It's just it must be really something that I'm looking forward to, or when just the stars align. But yeah, it's most of the stuff when I'm not sure about, I'm just waiting until it's on a streaming service or on a Blu-ray.
And what me being the big Ghostbuster fan, when I don't go to the first weekend showing of Ghostbusters Frozen Empire, that said something. And Leroy Green messaged me and he's like, "Yo, did you see Ghostbusters Afterlife yet?" And I was like, I mean not Afterlife, Frozen Empire, and I was like, I didn't really like Afterlife that much, so I was like, I'm not in a rush to go see Frozen Empire. But he said, man, make sure you let me know when you see it, because he wanted to do a discussion on it.
I was so shocked when I saw the promotion stuff like from the new Ghostbusters movie. I thought like Bill Murray, he looks like a zombie. He looks more like a zombie than when he was a zombie.
But Bill Murray looks like a zombie, while Ernie fucking Hudson is damn near 80 and he looks like a beast.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, this dude's 78, 79 years old, and yet he still looks shredded.
Ernie Hudson is just like, he's like fine wine.
Yeah,
I'm really looking forward to -1, but the problem was that movie was only shown at night here, and I'm not going to the cinema at night. I'm 40 years old. I wanna, when I watched I watched Dune 2 at 4 p.m. Perfect.
Shoot, I usually go see my movies during matinee time when it's the cheapest.
Exactly, and if there's a matinee, when a movie like is a matinee, that's how they get me into the cinema. When they say there's a matinee, I'm gonna watch a movie afterwards. I'm going for a nice burger.
Yep.
But yeah, but it's like I think I'm 40. I'm not going to the cinema at 10 p.m. Like it's like,
nope.
it's yeah.
Well, we'll definitely, like, when we get our hands on -1, we will definitely do a stream talking about that. And you're always welcome out.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than that, sadly we got another hiatus.
Yeah. But it's a busy month, so April will be very over soon. Next week it's gonna be fucking busy. Not so much work-wise, but Thursday is Bloodsport 10. Yeah, like Josh Barnett's Bloodsport 10. Then, of course, all the GCW stuff that is against some Japanese leagues before, and then you have NXT Stand and Deliver, and then the WrestleMania. So on Monday, when I finish WrestleMania in the morning, because I'm not watching it live, I'm watching it in the morning afterwards. So if anybody writes me on Instagram or something, I'm not touching my phone until WrestleMania is over.
Depending on the time I get back from Tampa, I'm only interested in the main events. That's it. And like I said, The Rock has done such a fantastic job to the point where I was like, yeah, I don't give a damn about Cody versus Roman. Give me Cody versus The Rock.
They have to do this, especially that. I think especially since The Rock also made like a personal look, Mama Rhodes. I gotta give for you. That they Cody has to do a Texas Bull Rope match against The Rock.
It's got to be.
It got to be.
And then Texas Bull Rope, and come out to the American Dream theme. He's got to come out to the American Dream theme.
I really hope. I've seen some memes online since Seth Rollins is very known for his extravagant dresses, that he should dress as Rocky Maivia.
Hey, that promo between Seth, CM Punk, and Drew McIntyre was hilarious.
Oh my god!
That shit was
Punk It's like,
Hey,
I am the chosen one. Who called you that? What paragon of virtue?
That's it. I was like, good one, Punk. That was a good one.
I really enjoy the way WWE is going right now. We're finding out what are the boundaries for what they can present. I really hope that Netflix has something to do with it. So they are, yeah. So I really hope like that, because otherwise, it's it's right now, of course. I mostly watch NXT because I think you're getting the most worth out of the talent there, and you get more wrestling and less, less scripted dialogues. But hey, if people like CM Punk and The Rock say, "Fuck it," who's gonna fire us?
All they need is bullet points and stuff to say, hey, just this is what you're going to talk about, and then you do the rest.
Yes.
Everything else you fill in the blanks.
And maybe it's a really good thing that The Rock is, on the board of directors, owning his name, right, and everything.
Final boss.
The final boss.
Final boss.
So maybe he has some really good creative input on the whole thing.
And people talking negative about The Rock, like, bro, The Rock is doing everything he can to make the product watchable again.
And that's a great thing. Like when he's like also in his promo with when he said like he's blurring the line, Seth Rollins. Do you think you got the this billion Netflix deal because of you?
No.
Like the first thing that the Netflix will ask is like, is The Rock in on it?
Or the directors, man.
Yeah, that's so fantastic. That's because it's just, and most of all, I am so happy we have heel Rock back.
Oh yeah, the
heel
mixture
Rock is the best Rock.
The mixture of his theme and then the transition into Hollywood Rock theme, fantastic.
Yeah,
fantastic. And like I said, every time he say, "Look at you now, huh? Look at you now." Make that into a T-shirt.
The Rock is a man of his words. And he took his blood and smeared it on the belt.
Mama Rhodes.
You
fucking with the final boss. I swear to God, like how Rock come and just overtake Roman Reigns and say, "I'm the final boss." Roman's the champ, but yet The Rock is the final boss. The Rock is Mr. X in Streets of Rage. That you gotta get all the way to the top of the building to fight.
Yeah, personally, I totally think that that Roman's will using that point because he's very much driven of the character by his insecurities. And when he asked The Rock, there's one thing you need to do. You need to acknowledge me. And for The Rock, it seems like he's like, yeah, of course I can. Of course I'm acknowledging you because everybody knows who is the real boss. And it's like that, like they said when Game of Thrones was still a good TV show, is a king who has to say that he's the king is no real king. But and everybody sees it. The Rock is overshadowing Roman. It doesn't matter if The Rock says that he's acknowledging him. It's like, I'm still owning you.
I can acknowledge you all you want, but I'm The Rock.
Yeah,
that's it. So
it's going to be very interesting. I'm looking so forward to next week.
I might even tune in to SmackDown tonight just to see Jade Cargill.
Oh yeah, she's now finally on SmackDown, and oh my god, damn, the SmackDown's women roster is stacked. With Tiffany Stratton, she's a goddess. So it's gonna be very interesting. All the possible feuds there. I still think that after WrestleMania they need to do a draft because Raw needs some female talent because otherwise Rhea Ripley is just chilling every Every PLE, like, nobody to get to.
Yeah. But yeah, other than that, man, it's a great show, great episode. Looking forward to when we return. But keep a lookout on the re-uploads. We're gonna do the Punisher one and gonna have a couple other episodes we'll re-upload just to keep everybody's thought.
And when we're coming back with one of the best giallos of all time, and then also with one of the most emotional and heartfelt science fiction movies of all time.
That's it. So with that in mind, that's VV. This your boy Puff. We are signing out. Have a great weekend, y'all. Peace.
Bye-bye.